What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RedoptionAgency.com, 23 years selling full-time on eBay. Look at that cuteness. And on other news, eBay takes another bite out of its sellers and making changes that they don't tell us about. And on my first impressions, making changes that are not beneficial to sellers on several different occasions, a couple of different occasions that I saw and I'm aware of as of today, this morning, the day after the presidential election, if you will. So yeah. Before we get into that, we'll talk sales. Yesterday was... Oh, is it working now? One thing that has not been working all morning may just started working. I was able to click on it. Not totally better, not totally. Let's see, yesterday, sale-wise, on the big store, we're going November 5th, the election day, and we've got $773. Definitely better than the day before, up 44%. That shows you how bad the day before was. Ugly situation. And actually, hats took number one yesterday over music CDs. $340 just in hats. $341, up 211.6%. So a shocking out of the gate win for the hats over the CDs yesterday. So I'm guessing that's what drove up the numbers. Hats are getting a little bit more views than normal. On the news store, total of $94 yesterday. So $700, $870, almost $900 yesterday. Then we woke up today to I saw a post about the raising of dynamic seller fees to 5% for the lowest you can put in, as opposed to, what was it, 2% before. The standard is still 2% as of right now. That has not been they have not risen that up to 5 yet, but there's probably a good chance they're going to do that. I mean, as I stated before, eBay's on this dead end road right now where they're trying to squeeze all the money they can out of promoted listings and sellers. And it's going to kill a lot of people out there, a lot of resellers. You may be one of the victims watching this video. Depending on what your cost of goods are, what you're allowed, what you're capable of giving eBay to sell your items. I think the first thing I want to say is, which I say about a lot of different things, take the emotion out of it. You can get emotional, but then stop, rethink, pull the emotions out and go, okay, what can I do? And it's, the more you know, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to do that. What I mean is, know your numbers. If all your numbers are right in front of you, write them down if you have to, which is another change eBay made, making it harder to compare. I'll show you that in a bit. It's out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, making numbers harder to read. And it could just be that it's new, but I'll get into that in a minute. Know your numbers. Know how much you're spending, how much you're bringing in, what your costs are, just everything across the board. Remember, the cost of goods on eBay is not your cost of goods. That's just the cost of the service to sell the item. You have to put in your cost of goods for that. So if you know your numbers, you're going to be able to make an easier, less emotional decision about what you can do percentage in order to compete, because I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I do feel the CEO is going to be on his last leg here. He's walking a thin line, because you can't do too much more without hurting yourself. I think we're right at that tipping point. And this move kind of, in my opinion, kind of proves that we're on that tipping point where the next move is going to just start the downfall and probably the elimination of the CEO from eBay. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm just an outsider looking in. I have no inside information, don't know nothing about what's going on their books and what have you. So pure speculation from what I see, just opinion. But I do feel like we're right there. Uh, Sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later, something's going to change for positive ways for sellers. Posh tried to change things, went backwards. Macari's making more changes. I just saw that somebody posted in Flippin' Ain't Easy's live that the CEO of Macari's stepping down at the end of the year. Um, right now, it's feels like a shakeup in the world of reselling, and I don't, it's definitely a changed field than what it was 3 years ago, 5 years ago. When you include, the whatnots and all these other things coming on board on ways to move product, make money in the reselling world. So, what's going to happen next year? Will eBay, in my opinion, continue to their downward uh, trajectory? Because, in my opinion, it's it's hard to say. I feel like it's when it comes to overall volume of sellers, man, it's hard to say with the whole COVID onboarding that came on. A lot of those people are the ones, they're the first ones going to be pushed off eBay. The least informed you are about how to resell, the quicker you're going to be pushed off with these consistent promotion changes and what have you. Not knowing how to run a business properly, just jumping into something because you thought it might be easy, aka reselling. Those are going to be the first people that's going to be pushed out the door back to new job. I mean, within the past 6 months, there's been several people who watched this video saying that they had to start working a day job again. Um, it's only going to get tougher, but I do feel we're at that tipping point where something's going to have to change because, like I said, you can only squeeze a seller so much, and you can only push so many sellers off of your platform. Those that make it through this is going to be standing tall. It's just getting through this is going to be the hard part. So probably said a whole lot of nothing there, but let's get into what's going on here. So, okay, so as of this morning, Seller Hub changed, and my drop downs weren't working. Now it looks like they're actually working. And when you click on traffic, they changed it. Now, if you remember before, it had the bars where you could hover over it and it would give you all three readings: impressions, listing views, and quantity sold all in one showing. And it was very easy to compare to your previous days, where now it's harder to read, and that could be because it's new to me. But the hard part about it is you have to individually go through each one now. So that kind of stinks. You can't individualize those. And then, of course, the text is smaller. So that makes it a little bit harder too. But yeah, it's definitely harder to compare the days before. Also, I don't know. It's just the graphs. The bars were a lot easier to read, a lot simpler. It wasn't just this. I kind of like that it's all molded together, but I wish they would have at least just molded the bars together and left the layout the same. That would have been ideal. But maybe I'll grow to like it. I don't know. We'll see. You can definitely see like the more downward spiral part here, but you got to know what today is on here, so you got to know where the cutoff is, and then you have to move all that out of the way so you can see it and see how that slant fell down in the quantity sold yesterday. day before I only sold 4 organic. So the fourth was totally jacked up. That's why yesterday was up 44.4%, because the Monday was such a, and they usually do some updates overnight on Sunday night into Monday, which usually trashes the site. So the $150 hat yesterday helped that number out. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this compared to the other. Like I said, I've said this a million times. eBay changes. When they change things, they make it, they keep introducing more steps to do the same thing. Whether that's from taking a picture on the app for a listing to now trying to get a read on your impressions, views, and sold. Now there's 2 extra steps I have to do in order to try to process these numbers, where before it was all together in one. So just another example of eBay making things harder for sellers. Man, kind of stinks. I mean, like I said, I'm going to have to get used to it, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of anything making it harder to take or adding steps to to do something. It's just a sign of going backwards. So yeah, that changed. But yeah, my drop downs were all jacked up this morning. Both accounts. Here's what it was doing on both stores. When you hover over it and you come down, it vanishes. So this one's, I'll hit refresh and see if it's fixed. But then you have to like hurry up and do it quick in order to hit it. So let me refresh and see if this one's fixed. Yeah, this one's fixed now. So they got it fixed. All right. So yeah, and then the whole advertising. Before I saw the news on the change, I put my old store on dynamic in order to just to for a few days to see how it compared to the standard way of doing it, which is what I've always used pretty much the majority of the time. I've tried dynamic here and there on this one and never got the results. I always had better results by doing a fixed percentage. And now that they bumped it up to 5, I made the comment that the rising tide raises all boats, but this time that little raise in the promotion is going to raise other ones. And it's not in favor of a seller. It's only in favor of eBay and their business. Their business model of promotions over moving product. They don't, if you've been kind of listening to Ebert on Flippin' Ain't Easin' and the Profit Playbook podcast, you can kind of get a feel that eBay cares more about, it's more about them making more money than it is about moving more product. But yet they want you to list more product. So we're getting less results by paying more than 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So, but eBay's only looking at their bottom line. Or is their bottom line rising? That's all they care about. They don't care about if you have to pay more to get less. That's not their game. Their game is to make money for their stockholders. But their eBay stock did take a little dump. And down again today. So they were at 62.32. We're down to 60.74 as of right now. So I do think Unless they pull a rabbit out of their butt, I think we're at a tipping point. But we'll see. They might have another rabbit to pull out of their butt that's going to give them more promotion money, and then in return give us less. So today what I've been trying to do is go back and forth trying to compare moving the clothes over to this new store and trying to do percentages and such, see if I'm getting a better result with this account as opposed to the old account. Because if I can successfully convince myself that this store is performing better, then I'm gonna move my hats over also. So I think I need a little bit more time, maybe through at least the end of this month, to really capture more data to really tell me that convincingly enough anyway. So that's where we're at. And sales were decent so far today until it's kind of cut off. I'm at 194. My last one was 1105. So we've gone about an hour without anything. But as you can see, I had several sell in the 10 o'clock hour, only one in the 11 o'clock hour, several in the 10, many in the 10, several in the 9, several in the 8, and one in the 7. And you can see here from like 11, I don't know if you can see that or not, from like 11:30 till about almost 8:16. Just had a few items come through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items sell overnight between 11:30 and say 8:15. So that's definitely a worse night than other nights, but that goes to show. And when I woke up this morning and saw that they changed the seller hub, the fact that they did change things overnight, it affected my sales, where when things aren't changed, it doesn't. So I don't know. Will we ever get a level playing field again to resell on with this website? Or is it going to be a constant evolving, changing platform every day, every week, all year, every year? That's the question I'm asking right now, because when does it stop? When can we get a solid foundation to play on? It's like, playing basketball during an earthquake or something. It's not ideal. Maybe fun at first, but eventually if you're trying to win, you're going to get tired of it pretty quick. All right. That is all for me. I'm going to finally get to work and get some hats listed today. Got a bunch of hats listed yesterday. Oh, I guess not a bunch. Got some hats listed. I think I listed some before I did the end and sell. No, that was the day before. I guess I didn't get much listed. I got clothing listed in the news store yesterday. That's right. Got a bunch of dresses and women's dresses and stuff I picked up on the yard sale front this past summer, and a bunch of t-shirts and such yesterday. So one of my main goals is to get my average for this to be at least $250 right now. I think I'm at $149, I believe, for the last, 31 days, $149 average. So I want to get it up to $250. That's the next goal over here, while continuing to grow the store also. So just means not necessarily more work, but just being more thorough and being more focused on what I'm doing. So that's where I'm at. So I am back to work, and we'll see how the day plays out. Let me know if you like the new graph or not on eBay, if you're a fan of it. Oh, now we're back to the old one. All right then. Well, maybe that's why everything's fixed now, because they reverted back to the old one. See, this one's much better. You can read everything right here in one boom. It's all right there in front of you, and very easy to compare to the day before. Quick, easy, done, boom, gone. Let's see if it's going to switch back now. Nope. Okay. So now I guess maybe they found too many bugs in that new one. I did post on the message board that the drop downs weren't working. So maybe they reverted it, went backwards because it was making too many problems, causing too many disruptions. So they got to tweak it and then put it back out live again overnight tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Or later today. So they're changing right in front of our eyes right here. So it's going to be a rocky day, I am projecting. So if they're changing it during the day while we're working, what else is messing up? So I know offers are worse than they were this past week. They've gone backwards again also. It was telling me I'm out of, I tried to send an offer and it said I was out of whatever it says. Like I'm not allowed to send no more offers because I reached my peak or something like that. Something crazy. I've seen that a couple of times before in the past, but that's what I've been getting the last couple of days. And today, the offers are just like non-existent. So, let's see. After 9:30 last night to 9:30 this morning, I only had 4 offers come through. So 12 hours, 4 offers. So, and haven't had none in the last little over 2 hours. So they all came in about the same time, 47, 49, 56. Then they vanished again. So offer's definitely not working right now also properly. So, all right, I'm done. Enough yapping. I'm getting back to work. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And it's trying to make me big again. Honey, I shrunk the James. All right. Thanks everybody. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.